Nutalot. I watched the VOD. Well done, you. Very well done, you. I've never seen this game before. Okay, there's a lot for me to go over you then. Yikes. Okay, so we're in space. I will do the Cliff Notes version of the lore. This is the Persean sector. We're in space. About 200-ish years ago, we were also part of a massive galaxy-spanning empire called the Domain. About 200 years ago, the Stargates, which allowed us to do much faster than light travel, turned off. We have no idea why. It has been 200 years, and we kind of like this is the populated systems of this area. It was rough. It was very rough because unfortunately, space DRM was a really, really big thing before the collapse, which is the cataclysmic moment when the gates all turned off and we lost faster than light travel and also faster than light communications. You see, unfortunately, in the far future, the all industry is basically 3D printed to a certain degree, and it's 3D printed off DRM protected chips, and when the space gates went down, the factories could no longer validate people's licenses with HQ, and so refused to build the stuff that they had. Innovation pretty much dead. They've managed to some degree recover a little bit in this area, but we're still only talking about populations that are probably in the many millions rather than the billions. Maybe a couple of planets with a billion or two. But basically, DRM ruined space. That's more or less it. The hapless citizens in this sector were cut off from the main domain network, and as a result couldn't build anything and had to more or less go through a dark ages to recover. Much badness. Much badness. Some chips have been hacked and stuff like that, so there are a few variants, but not many. Mostly people have just had to try and recover, rather than just have all of the things that they could build before. Now, in that time, various new corporations have arose. The hegemony is more or less a direct descendant of the Domain, and is the most alike to the Domain, but perhaps a little bit more militarist. Then we've got let me actually bring up intel on that, the various factions. Then we've got the hegemony there. Got the Luddic Church, the Church of Lud. Basically, Luddites in a spaceship setting. They eschew technology and feel that technology and the collapse and all of that, it was basically punishment for transgressions, for cracking open holy creation. We'll get to that in particular when we get to Tritachyon. Then we got Luddic Path, the violent extremist wing of the Luddic Church. The Luddic Church don't really agree with the Luddic Path, but they're also not necessarily enemies with them. Perhaps they're seen as a necessary evil. Persian League, basically F taxes. They split off the hegemony because the hegemony wanted too much tax, and they just kind of didn't want that. They wanted to do their own thing and develop and be hedonists and not have to pay money for stuff that they didn't directly benefit from themselves. An alliance formed to counter hegemony domain of the sector. Members of the League don't necessarily agree on all issues, domestic or otherwise, and many even come into armed conflict with one another, but the League is united when it comes to the hegemony, who they consider to be illegitimate, enforcing martial law in the name of the domain, a dead political entity. Then you've got the Sindrian Diktat. It's basically the Persian League. They also said F taxes, or more specifically F the hegemony. They are basically they're the military part of the hegemony, but without the bureaucracy of the hegemony. So you could almost see this as a military formed around one charismatic leader. It's kind of a dictatorship, a military dictatorship. That's the view I get of the Sindrian Diktat. Then you've got Tritach, which is the most corporate version. I think they may actually be a throwover from the domain. But they're basically, like, they may have had roots in the domain, but Tritach is Ultra Tech Corp, You can think of them as MCP from RoboCop. They're all about their profit margins and pushing the boundaries, and may or may not have caused the AI war, which happened since the collapse. And as a direct result, now AI is outlawed. I mean, the domain always kind of had rules about, yeah, look, this AI is too AI. No. We need at least an Asimov's 3-law system or something like that. Try and tackle with like, yeah, but what if we didn't though? What if we made an intelligence so vast and alien to our own that it could solve all of our problems for us whilst making us loads of money? Because it would 100% be beholden to us and would be enslaved. We would be able to control that intelligence because reasons. And guess what? They didn't actually control it, and it kind of ran amok for a while. And now the entire sector is like, AI bad, okay? That is TriTac in a nutshell. Then you got the independent, basically everyone else. They're like, I just want to live a quiet space life in space. Just trying to get by, farming asteroids, or whatever they do. Then you got the pirates. That doesn't really need any description. It's not anything new. They're just people that don't like the law. And like the things that you have that they don't, and have a pretty straightforward plan in how to change and fix this problem. Grim Alexis, one charismatic leader. Oops, we made a space military cult. Well, I mean, you know. Why does the Luddic Path hate the independent? The Luddic Path hate everyone, because the Luddic Path are the ultra-militarist idea of the Luddic Church. The Luddic Church is like, we believe that technology is bad and you should grow your food and write books with paper made from trees, and you should wear nice robes that you spun from your own weave. The Luddic Path... But whereas the Luddic Church believes that, they are also like, but you don't believe it, and whilst that makes you an ultra-sinner, that doesn't make me an ultra-sinner. I would like to save you, but you know what? If you continue to sin and then are just forsaken, that's up to you. But come join us. We've got cookies and books, but... you know, we don't really want to mix with you because you're doing all that tech stuff. The Luddic Path are like, no, you're evil. You're demons because you use tech. I'm going to kill you. That's what the Luddic Path are. The Luddic Church have their beliefs, and they're more or less okay if you damn yourselves by not following them. The Luddic Path feel that it is their duty to damn you faster for not following their beliefs. So it's like, whereas the Luddic Church are fine waiting for you to die and get punished, eventually, for being a sinner, the Luddic Path want to take away the eventually part and just make it now. They do use tech, that's the irony. But their tech, to be fair, calling the things that they fly spaceships is... I mean, it's whereas everyone else is actually flying spaceships that can maybe breach higher dimensions and you know, phase around and may or may not have AI. The Luddic Path are flying things that would probably be considered primitive to the Apollo space missions. So I'm going to give them a buy on that. It's not really technology what they fly, it's belief. Lots and lots of belief that they are safe in their cardboard spaceships. If KSP was Amish, yeah, more or less. Yeah, the Luddic Path are extremists. They probably validate what they do with spaceships and stuff like that, and the technology they use. But to be fair, they don't use a lot of high tech. Like, all of their ships are ultra low tech, almost always. Indeed, they can't expect God to do all of their work. They need to prove that they deserve the bounties of whatever afterlife, or indeed if they believe in an afterlife, or simply not being damned, by actually being good soldiers of God, I guess. Or soldiers of Lud in this case. Are there whalers on the moons? I have no idea. But anyway, that's the general law. as for us, we've been out and about. We started... Oh, actually, here, in this system. They were cut off from the gates. We're basically just a mercenary company, our own. We don't really have a place to call home, but we've got a fleet. We built this fleet up over time. We've got RPG-like skill development. We've actually got a fleet with officers in it for once. We've got 2 other people. It's amazing. We've got 2 people here. How fantastic is that? They are like doing stuff and things. I am flying the carrier. I kind of got a view that I would like a very carrier-focused fleet if I can. So we're probably going to build up to getting some sort of flagship that is a carrier. And then rolling with that. We've got an okay amount of money right now. We've not got an okay amount of supplies, sadly. We've got a decent amount of crew, both actual crew and marines, though I would like to expand that out just a little bit more. Generally speaking, we're okay, but we could be a lot better. We have not affiliated ourselves with any of the factions. There are bunches of missions going around. All sorts of things that we could do, bounties, so on and so forth. I would like to do a lot of scanning today and get out there and start looking around systems, because eventually I want to find a place to call home. And then we will found our own faction, and it will be great. And everything is going to be grand. Nothing will possibly go wrong. And should the hegemony come along asking why your colony is so profitable, we will absolutely not talk about the bunker in which our mayor lives. And the fact that we don't ever have to take food there, that's just something we don't need to talk about. No food, no water, no sewage. No, no one has noticed. Okay, chat, no one has noticed it. It's just, yeah, they probably just sneak out in the night to get a snack. Don't pay any attention to the gigantic power cables that go into their home bunker shed. 100% don't need to pay any attention. But Mayor's too busy to hold audience. Sorry, no. It will have to be a vid feed. Also, no, the camera is wonky, so it'll just have to be voice. The Mayor has anxiety. Only certain people can... Yes, the Mayor had read too many books of the before times and discovered something about the 2020 something or other, started with a C, doesn't want to see anyone, might catch space plague. But yeah, you can do all sorts of things. It's a massive sandbox game. But that is pretty much the main recap. This is our fleet as it stands. I am slowly shedding some of the more broken down ships. Like Trash Panda Panic is really messed up. Hopefully we can get to a point where we can start repairing Trash Panda Panic. I would very much like to get to this skill in particular. I feel that one would be a great one to get to if we can. There's a few things that we're going to need to do along the way. I'm pretty happy with our spread of crew skills right now. We've got fighter uplink, so our fighters, we lose 50% less crew due to fighter losses in combat, and our fighters have plus 20% top speed and plus 50% tactical leading accuracy right now. Also, that effect is actually increased by 1.5 times, so it's like 75% for ships with officers, including the flagship, which is the one we're flying. Crew training, so our crew are just better drilled. We start fights with more combat readiness. Now, combat readiness is a bit of an interesting idea. It's not specifically the materials and maintenance that we have, but just how long the crew can be... how to put it? Okay, think of a submarine. Any ye olde submarine-y filmy, okay? Your favourite old Cold War sub-film, and you now think about how jittery the crew get when they've been on like red alert and they're in a situation where any noise is probably going to get the sub torpedoed. And you imagine that they seem to get the adrenaline jitters pretty quickly in that scenario. Combat readiness is how long they can be in that high alert state before they start making big mistakes. And the mistakes start off as small ones, like, the weapon's jammed, or, oh no, the engine just kind of burnt out. We're going to need a few seconds to reignite it and get everything going and spool up the reactor again. This is all bad, but it's not terrible. And then it scales up and up and up and up, and instead of the gun jamming, sorry, I put the shell in the wrong way. The missile was pointing the wrong way in the tube, and it just blew up the missile tube. My bad. Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, wait. I remember what I was thinking. I'm gonna die. More or less. And then it scales all the way up to, the space madness is set in, and they are actually just randomly opening airlocks across the ship. It is bad times. The ship is literally just tearing itself apart because the people in it are that stressed. And then finally, tactical drills we've also got, which just gives us generally a bit more combat damage. But more than anything, this is actually really good for our Marines. So when we do ground operations, which isn't necessarily on the ground, but just generally not space battles. But yes. As for salvaging, the only one we've got in industry, but we really do want to get up there because it's kind of more of a scavenger fleet right now. We get a little bit more return on salvaging. Like we've actually worked into that one as much as we can. The warp is leaking into the ship. Break out the storm bolters. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yes. Yeah, that's more or less it. Remember your training. Don't get the space madness. That's what we hope. Yeah, at all times. These are combat skills. These are leadership, technology. Technology leads to some very interesting ones. In industry, we've recently had a big update to the way skills work and the way the skills are balanced and what skills exist. And that's why we're playing in vanilla right from the beginning again. Right, so that is pretty much everything. Were we doing any particular mission at the moment? Let's have a quick look. We have got 101 days to disrupt the orbital works at Captain Star Works in the Isra system, which is all the way over there. Okay. That's for the hegemony, and we will be paid a cool 79k for that one. We probably have enough Marines now to easily do it. We will take chonky losses, though, sadly. Is there anything else out that way? Don't really think so. Don't think there are any explorations out that way. Oh, actually. Pirate base. They want to know what's over there. And that's kind of where we're going. Now, we don't know when... oh, no, sorry. We would want to look at the pirate base all the way over there, actually. Damn, okay. That was a bit of a pain in the backside for us to try and get to, but... we've also got a Medusa blueprint. There's nothing else really jumping out at me around these areas. We've got this one, which is our main quest. We've got potential contact there that we can talk with. Potential contact there. We can develop the contract. I forget what developing contacts does, but I believe it makes it possible for you to... If this contract is developed, he will periodically have work for you. As the relationship improves, you may gain access to better opportunities. I mean, a military contract, so we would be getting more fight our enemy contracts from these guys, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, if I'm honest. Anything else in particular? We've got a comm sniffer installed in one of the relay satellites, so we're always getting information of this system as if we were there. But most stuff, because we don't have faster than light information transfer anymore, we need to be near a relay to get it. So if we're out exploring in the distance, bounties might be being posted and fulfilled by the world. It's a sandbox game at the end of the day. You know, the world is moving, whether we are moving with it or not. We've got a couple of pirate thingamajigs going on. Might want to swing by here, pick up some more bounties, perhaps, on our way in this direction at this point. Okay, so I've got a bit of a plan. We need some supplies. We desperately need supplies, actually. So let's have a look. Where's the best place to buy them right now? Astlan is still actually pretty competitive. Nova Maxos is okay. I would love to be able to steal these from someone, but sadly, no pirates have a surplus, and I'm not willing to start raiding the main areas yet. It's all right, Mintoms. I've done a first taste ages ago as well. Splat. I did notice that Splat did do a quick summary on or rather did a quick not first taste, but a review of the update. Did Aavak ever cotton on to how to see what his actively accepted missions were? No. Is there a way to do that? I mean, I would assume clicking on missions would be the thing, but I don't know. Military contracts also sometimes offer industry space for you to order ships from them. Oh, okay. Intel accepted. Well. Thank you. That is super useful. Ransom researcher complete. I don't know why that's still there. Okay, well, that's good enough. We're going to be heading over to Aslan, though, I think. We want to pick up some more bits and bobs. But a couple of other bits and bobs we need. I would like to get some more mercenaries. There's nowhere really cheap to get that, though, sadly. Might be better for me to hit a convoy. We are not above a little bit of piracy. I'm just going to put that out there right now. We're generally not messing with people, but occasionally we do. Sometimes you just have to be willing to yoink what's not yours until it is yours. Considering we're starting to get a little bit low on fuel, I'm going to go to Nakara, well, Samara is actually fairly close. And Sphinx is not that much different. How much have they got? Well, none of them have got really an excess. They're just, decent. Okay, we're going to go to Sphinx. Okay. We've got our transponder on. Let's break orbit. Go. Cotton on? Do you mean caught on? No, cotton on is it's like a British thing. But yeah, that's effectively what it means, caught on. Auto jump to hyperspace. Turn off the transponder. No, too late. You can't catch me. I'm gone. Neutrals. Let me wander a little bit closer to you. Sneaky. Hello. Prospector. Don't intend to mess with you. That is definitely a sensor ghost. On a salvage expedition, a lot of military there, lots of peeps there too. That is absolutely a sensor ghost. I loved how I was chasing that in the last stream. I was full on chasing those sensor ghosts until I realized, oh wait, that was covered in the update. Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of stuff here. We want to go to Sphinx, so Sphinx. Let's swing back round, turn off that, and pop our transporter as well. Transponder rather. Okay, where be Sphinx? Sphinx be there. Head on down. We've got a couple of independent worlds right here. We'll move slowly through this asteroid field. Through the ring. There we go. Thunk. Right, trade goods or hire. I wouldn't actually mind looking at the comm directory. We don't have anyone here who can be hired as an officer, sadly. What about the bar? At the bar, a shady woman bothers disinterested starship captains with an off-brand data pad. Well, what are you up to? As you approach the woman, As you approach, the woman leaves her current prospect mid-pitch, shifting her attention to you. You there, Captain. Yes, you know an honest face when you see one. She gives a crooked smile. Just look here. She shows the flickering display of the datapad into your hands. A cargo manifest consisting mostly of low-grade construction materials stored in a warehouse in a completely different system. She leans in and speaks quietly, motioning as if explaining the datapad's contents. You help me move 21 units of heavy armaments to Raslev, a quick hop of 6 light years. Then I pay you 39,000 credits. No need to involve the authorities, no inspections, no tariffs. Easy money, right? Your fleet's cargo hold can accommodate an additional 2,026 units of cargo. I guess, actually. Yeah, we'll have to avoid suspicion, but sure. Okay. Heavy armaments. I mean, this is not an exactly a legal thing to do. Very much not, in fact. And we've got our transponder on, so there's every possibility that they're going to spy us doing this, but oh well. Is there anything here I want? Tridents. They've got 2 Atropos class torpedoes. They're worth 25 because they do the big bada-booms. Very big bada-booms. Yunako, good morning. Welcome back, Leafin. I do have ships with shielded cargo hold, which is why I'm okay with taking these right now. I really wouldn't mind picking that up, but I wouldn't have anyone that I could put it on. We're currently rolling with longbows, which have point defense lasers and Sabo missiles, but this, the Atropos class torpedo, is less punch through shields, more punch through ship. It's an awful lot of damage. 1,000 damage. Whereas the longbows weapons do 128 at half the range. I mean, they're great against shields, but yeah. No, they do 200 times 5 at 1,200, so that was just a point defense laser. Aavak, help. I'm still in the cargo hold. I've been stuck here since the last stream. Can you let me out? No. No. You're staying in the cargo hold, Marja. You scare away the space weevils. Too vital of a job. Right, we want some fuel. Do I want to grab all the fuel I can at a price of 22? I can buy 733 units. No, let's not do that. I bought that. Let's not go all the way down in price. Oh, actually, no, it is. Yeah, okay. 21 grand. That's going to keep us going for a long while. But let's not completely fill the tank. Because if I do, then I've got no more room then for salvage. Like, salvaged goods. We're going to need some extra supplies to get where we're going, sadly. Let's pop that in. Confirm. Okay. How long is the trip to Aslan? 4.4 days at base burn level. We can double that with a higher one, so we'd have 2 days getting across it. We've got enough supplies to make that jump. Is the cargo hold the new oubliette? No. I accidentally opened one of the containers, and now the hold is full of ferrets. I mean, yeah, why would you want to leave if the hold is full of ferrets? Clearly, that's the best place in the universe to be right now. And you probably had that joyous moment of where you just peeled open one of a little hole on the side of the container and just outspilled an impossibly large volume of ferrets. And you're like, how did they fit inside? You will never know. Yeah, we should be okay. Got 60 days to complete that job. Right, leave. And get on our way. Burn. No one seems interested in us. We bought a lot of materials there, so they've got no reason to be suspicious of us for anything, really. Auto jump to hyperspace. And cut the transponder. There we go, and let's be on our way. I really like the music out here. I haven't seen Slipstreams yet, which I'm a bit saddened by. Ooh. Okay. On a salvage expedition there. I'm going to cut my engine. It's going to go dark. Hi, who are you? You're just a privateer. Not worth my time. I'm going to leave you alone. I love how when you go into the clouds, the music gets muffled. Oh, I just got splonked by a... No, don't pinball me into... Oh, no, I'm being pinballed. No, no, my supplies. Boss! Why would it do this to me? Cut it. Okay, burn. We're going to go in and deal with it. Mercenary convoy. That is a big fleet. Do I join in? Transponder on. This might build up my deal with the Sindrian Diktat. Yes. Okay, you encounter an ongoing battle. The Sindrian Diktat forces transmit their IFF codes, which allows you to join the battle on their side if you decide to. They are probably going to get blatted if we don't. One thing I will say, though, let's have a look at the composition. We've got standard freighters. Now, they are just the freighters. We've got hammerhead destroyers, got a couple of tankers, standard freighters, lots of them. We've got actually, you know what? They've got a lot of frigates here, but not a lot of punch. No, the Diktat are not going to get blasted here. I thought these were combat freighters. I was looking at this thinking, oh, they've got, like, you know, effectively a couple of cruiser style. Yeah, I know they're kind of thrown together combat things. I didn't realize they were just freighters. There's a lot of tankers here too. The Diktat are fine here, but I wouldn't mind some of that sweet loot. I will absolutely join to get some of that sweet loot. We'll continue. Let's jump into the fight proper. Right. You're not coming, obviously, because you got absolutely munched. Let's bring in our cruiser. We'll see how it does. I'll also field our hammerhead, field our wolves. Anything else I really want to bring? I could bring in the... we could bring in the Broscaro just for a little bit of a show of force. It's going to cost me 43 supplies, so I don't have that much supplies to get back from this. We'll just have to field these and be happy with that, I think. Maybe let's not take that in, actually. 23 supplies instead. Deploy. Let's give some orders. Get up there. I want this one engaged, this one engaged. And I'm actually going to allow my ship to be autopilot until we get closer. That way I don't have to fly the whole way in to get into the fight. I can just watch. Okay. Okay, the wolves are making a rush. Now, one thing to note here. If we have a look at everyone else, they've got, like, combat readiness of... Oh, actually, the pirates have got 85 combat readiness. And the Sindrian Diktat have 70. One of them's got 85 because he's got an officer on board. Oh, actually, most of the pirates have officer on board. Okay, interesting. All of ours will have 85 or better. In fact, some of them are going to straight up have stupid amounts, like you, 100% combat readiness. The bonuses you're getting right now because of that. That is some big bonus. My fighters are out. Can I watch the fight from one of the Sindrian Diktat ships? I can. Ships are getting involved. Well, my wolf is at least. Missiles coming in from afar. Yeah, the wolf's getting involved. My hammerhead is there now. We're mostly just offering support right now, I would say. Try not to get messed up, of course, but... Let's have a watch of how this is going. My fighters are being deployed. I would say, sure. What I could do is have the fighters focus on the small ones, get some kills. And whilst I've got command frequency open, I like the idea in this that you can play as an RTS, a straight-up RTS, and you can build your character around that idea that you're literally controlling the fight. You're not a pilot. You're not a scrappy ship captain in the middle of the fight. You are taking the big picture seat. You've got a scrappy ship captain running your ship. And you're kind of also helping in a little bit, and so your direct skills are helping the ship that you're on. But mostly, you're in this, you're at the tactical screen, issuing orders. Now, normally, you gain, or rather, right now, I gain a command point every 112 seconds. When it's not per command, not per instruction that these get used. It's to open up the command frequency. So I turn on the probably, significant communications array, and that command frequency is then open, and I start giving orders, but I can only, the command frequency will only stay open for a little bit, and then it shuts down, and I have to spend another point to open it. So while this command frequency is open, because I've just given my person an order, I can queue up a bunch of different orders to be done. Like, I want my fighters to be involved in all of this, and we'll pop from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. You over there, how are you doing? You're generally doing okay, I would say. I am probably going to remove the engage order from this. I'm just going to allow my ships to redisperse as they see fit. You're in a pretty solid state right now, I think. Well, actually, I could have you full-on engage. Like, throw caution to the wind. Overwhelm their defenses. There's 2 hammerheads there facing off against that hammerhead. It's also lost most of its armor, so it's going to be pretty quick kill. And now we're going to allow it to go again. And that one's gone, so the fighters are now going to focus their efforts. Let's have a watch of you. How's that fight going down? My fighters are overwhelming them. They're building up their flux and then shutting down their systems, which is allowing the other ships then to do an awful lot of damage. My bombers will be doing crazy things when they get out there. There we go. Let's continue to take this thing down, though it is... it's doing a decent job of being a pain in the backside, actually. My fighters are harassing wherever they can, keeping the flux really high. Flux in this game is... you can consider it a byproduct resource. It's a byproduct of a ship fighting, basically. Damage to shields causes your flux to rise. Having the shields up causes flux to rise. And additionally, any impact... any kind of weapon fire causes your flux to rise. You need to manage that. You can sort of think of it as heat. I do. And as the heat builds up, your ship needs to get rid of that heat. Otherwise, it cooks the people inside. But realistically, it's more like that, but for electronics. Because it seems that once flux overwhelms your capacitors for flux, it causes system-wide like shutdowns. The whole ship just shuts down until you bleed that flux out completely. You can start an emergency flux vent, which does the same thing, but will vent the flux twice as fast as normal, which is a good thing to do when you're out of battle. It's kind of like reloading your gun when you're not immediately needing to shoot things, so that when you do, you've got a full magazine of bullets rather than 3 bullets, and then it's going to start clicking at the most inopportune moment during a duel. Let's peek over here, see how our ships are doing. We're doing okay, though that wolf is taking a lot of firepower I don't like. Nice deployment of bullets. There we are. It's doing an emergency flux vent there. Got a lot of attention on this hammerhead here. Take that out, thank you. That was a missile. We're using our point defense lasers to try and keep those from causing issues. There we are. It just got overloaded. So it can't do anything now. It can maneuver a little bit, but it can't shoot. It can't raise its shields. It is more or less dead in the water, and that's why everyone's missiles were suddenly heading in. It's like, here's our opportunity, just unload everything while it can't defend itself. And it is glorious. There we go. And now the rest of the fleet is arriving. So yeah, you can absolutely play this just like an RTS if you want to, and you can build your character in such a way that makes sense. I'm going to give a strike order here so that my carrier will actually move in and try and take it on properly. Let's watch you. And combat readiness, by the way, you'll notice a lot of my ships have more or less the same combat readiness as they had at the beginning. It's because they've not been pressed. Combat readiness goes down when the ship is in, like, a rough way. It's at combat stations, and people are getting stressed. That's what brings it down. If they're never actually stressed, because they're in, like, a capital ship, and they're being harassed by frigates, and it's like, we don't care. Literally do not care about what you're doing. We're not in any way upset about this. We're only in red alert because of protocol. You're literally incapable of threatening us. The combat stress won't go. The combat readiness won't decay at that point. iPilot's so bad. I only play tactical. It's got quite a great. Yeah, no. To be fair, the AI in this is actually really good. Yeah. I enjoy piloting myself though, but depends on the ship. Siribam. She's grabbing her medicines. Right. Okay. There are some ships that managed to get away. These are the freighters. We do want to join this pursuit. Absolutely. But I'm not going to be in command of it. I'm going to have my second in command work on this one. Oh, can I not select... I can't tell them which ones to get involved. That's a shame. I'll only send in the faster ships here. Go for it. The forces engaged in pursuit. The retreating enemy forces were able to disengage, but not without losses. They lost the vast majority of their ships. One tanker got away. Right, consider ship recovery. Ooh. There is a Hound with a shielded cargo container. We've got some big boys. A Phaeton standard tanker, which would allow us to carry significantly more fuel. Ratic fuel injector, no. The problem is they're so badly damaged. This Buffalo freighter isn't so bad though. And this one isn't so bad either. It's only got a degraded drive field. Compromised storage on a freighter, though. Degraded drive field, increased maintenance. Don't want that on a massive freighter like this. Ugh, no. This one, though. I'm not sure I really want any of these. We don't actually have... Like, if I didn't have a tanker, I would absolutely use a story point to grab that. But I just don't need it. And this hammerhead is too badly damaged to be worth it. However, this Hound is not actually... It has no demods. That's really, really nice. Yeah, I have no idea how a single dram made it out of that. Probably everything else was focusing on other more important things, so the dram just burnt out of there. I think this may be worth it simply because it has no demods. Is the Buffalo henchman-y? I don't think it's a hegemony spec one, no. But I think we're going to recover this, but we're immediately going to mothball it until we get to station. Your relationship with the pirates, currently at -100, is already well established and is not affected. Relationship with the Syndrian Dictac, though, improved by 3. Your fleet is able to participate in the salvage operation due to its contributions throughout the encounter. Salvage crews were able to recover 350 credits. Pick through the wreckage. Got 44 supplies. Cash money. Right there. Well worth. Absolutely great. Okay, that is excellent. And we're automatically paused, so let's go into the fleet. Let's find that ship, and we're immediately going to mothball it so we don't use any of our supplies trying to repair it. We are going to use 43 supplies in total to finish repairing everything, but I can suspend repairs on this. No, we can't. We need the combat readiness to rise above this because it's kind of in a bad way. It can take further damage there. So I'm okay with that, I guess. Oh, Siri's curling up into a little ball. She's enjoying her medicine now. She's wiping her chops on my couch. It's so cute. Right, let's have a look at our character now. At this point, I could start picking up more leadership skills. Not interested in it at this time, though. I could pick up some tech skills if I really, really wanted to. Also not interested in it right now, though. We've got Ordnance Expert. The weak fear the spiritual potency of the killing machine. The strong instinctually recognize its beauty. +2 flux dissipation per ordnance point spent on weapons, or maximum damage reduction by armor increased by 85. Oh, hello, Siri. You want a kiss? Good girl. Good girl. What was that? Good girl. Did you enjoy your breakfast? She did. Right. Maximum damage reduction by armor increased from 85% to 90, up to plus 100% armor for the damage reduction calculations only, based on the current hard flux level. So the more hard flux, ships without a shield or a phase cloak are treated as always having 50% hard flux. So the more hard flux you have, the better your armor is considered. EMP damage taken reduced by up to 50% based on the current hard flux level. And if we make that elite with the story point, we get plus 25% flux dissipation rate while venting. Yeah, the skill to remove demons is still, but it's an elite one. Alternatively, I could invest in... I do want to start moving into technology a bit, but... And obviously combat as well. Like, point defense is really attractive to me. Really attractive. Extends the range of point defense weapons by 200. Field modulation, minus 15% damage taken by shields, minus 25% flux generated by active phase cloak. And eliting it gives 15% hard flux dissipation while shields are active. Minus 50% phase cloak cooldown. I mean, this is nice. Damage control, minus 25% hull damage taken. 50% faster in-combat weapon repairs. We've also got combat endurance, plus 60% seconds peak operating time, plus 15% maximum combat readiness. This would allow our ship to have 100% combat readiness. Yeah, armor... In terms of the armor calculation, Ethan, your armor actually gets eroded across the ship. It's not just one value, but each part of the ship is covered by armor. So, as far as the damage mitigation calculation goes, you've got an extra 100 armor on that component, but some parts of your ship may just have no armor at all. The damage mitigation will be calculated, but then once that calculation is done, the damage isn't going to be done to armor there, because that armor doesn't exist. You've got it there just to reduce the incoming damage, but that damage is now done directly to hull, for example. Or it might be a case that maybe if you've got just 1 point of armor there, then for the calculation it's 101 points of armor, but when the remaining damage is actually applied, it just punches through that 1 point of armor and goes straight to hull. No, it's not like Stellaris. No, not in that regard. No. I am neglecting my combat skills, and it does show. But I really want to start getting towards these industry items. Like, especially these. Reducing the... increasing the amount of fuel I gather. Reducing the supplies I use and getting this would be amazing. So I am going to put a point into industry somewhere. So bulk transport would give us more room to carry anything, and it would also allow us to fly a little bit faster for non-militarized ships. Recover ships, much better repair rate, so our ships will get back to combat readiness a lot faster. And we'd also recover 25% of hull and armor damage taken after combat at no cost, which would reduce the amount of supplies used to get back to combat readiness. But I think dropping the amount of EMP damage taken by my ship is quite nice, but this one affects the fleet rather than specifically my ship. I think we're going to go for something that favors the fleet as a whole. So I could either increase the amount of fuel, cargo, and personnel they can carry, or... And we're not going to get the best return on this one already because we've already got so much cargo, and I'm definitely going to get a bigger tank cargo capacity than we've got. Or we go for this, which is going to give us the maximum amount. We're going to go for that one, I think, yeah. So confirm that. There we go. And now the next point that we get is probably going to be in makeshift equipment. So I can reduce the monthly supply consumption for ship maintenance by 50%, or 100 units, whichever is lower. Your fleet requires a base 92 supplies per month for maintenance, which is reduced by 50% to, or by 46 units, which would be amazing. It would also give us remote survey, so we'd be able to survey plants a little bit faster, and we'd get the survey equipment mod, which would be pretty cool. Though, that being said, reducing fuel consumption is nice, and getting more fuel is also nice because we can just sell that. But, you know, not having to lose any combat readiness if I use emergency burn is actually quite nice as well. What's the flavor of in this playthrough? We're currently just kind of drifting as mercs. We are actually probably more smugglers than anything else right now, and I'm trying to build towards, or rather with mind to wanting a more carrier-focused fleet in time. Oh. Well then, let me just go back and check this out. I don't want it. I wouldn't mind salvaging it though. Extra full supplies, not bad at all actually. And what be you over here? It be a mud skipper. I don't intend to pick that up, so let's just salvage it. Another 5 supplies, 5 fuel, 1 heavy machinery, 10 metal, and a light dual machine gun. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Is that actually trying to mess with the... What? Why would it... I mean, that's very bold. It's like, I've got a single dram tanker. I'm going to interdict this fleet so they can't run away from me. I love that little dram tanker. I want to see an animated movie about that dram tanker. I like its can-do energy. All right, let's jump into the Aslan system. Transponder's already on because we were just in a fight. Oh, nice. We're actually in we're in a cloud here. Yeah, in a nice big chunky nebula. Now, is there anything particular we want to grab from here? Like crazy amounts of... Oof. I love how you could go to the Luddic Path, buy 1,000 crew, and then give them to the pirates. It's like, look, I know that you started off as humble farmers and workers and the carpenters and smiths, but now you're pirates. Enjoy. Lud moves in mysterious ways. We're all the fuel we need for a long time. I could buy some extra heavy machinery here and sell it, but honestly, I'm just acquiring that, so it doesn't really matter to me. Okay, well, let's get over here. Ooh. Speed up as well. Har har fiddly dee, indeed. Look, Aavak crew is such a nice old slaves here. One of the things I really like when you look at your fleet as well is the drive trails are based on the kind of tech level. So the kind of rusty browns are low tech ships, the yellows are midline ships, and the blues are super high tech ships. Is that dram tanker? Keep going, little dram tanker. The dram tanker could. No, the dram tanker's gone. Oh, cruel. This has now turned into a Greek tragedy. They thought they had a chance. But just as they began to hope, life was snatched from them. Truly the darkest day. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sell all of that. And I am going to purchase a lot of this. I could buy loads here. And then not travel very far away. I'm not going to sell to the Luddic Path. The Luddic Path can suck it. But Asconia, they've got a deficit of 3,000 supplies. I could make some crazy good money selling these supplies to the pirates. That is an awfully large amount of money that I don't have. Let's sell that first. I could also buy it on the black market, I suppose, but... buy 100 supplies there. Got no suspicion, which is good. And now I'm going to buy 100 supplies here to double down on the no suspicion. There we go. That'll do as well. Excuse me a second, chat. Okay, I'm back. Now, we've got to take these onwards. But is there anything really nice I want to grab here? Question, could you eventually complete the Eradicator faction? Yes, Leafin, you can. And depending on the mods you use, like right now the factions are kind of static. In vanilla, the factions are somewhat static. You can wipe them out, which has pretty big ramifications. But they don't really grow themselves. But in certain mods, it's much more like a 4X, and those factions are trying to spread out on their own. The Garnier pirates would like to get a load of marines. I could go over to the Quaras pirates, purchase 100 marines, and then go sell them at Garnier. Actually, I could go to Jangala. Hey, henchmen or marines, hello. Well-trained military hierarchy. Yes, no, great. That's great. You served the hegemony navy. Now you're serving with me. That's fine, right? Yes, no, yeah, it's good. I'm glad. Now you're serving with the pirates, probably against the people who trained you. Possible. And the reason I say that is they're literally in the same system, so I could just go there, buy 100 marines, go there, sell them. Might be a good one. Might be a very good option. As far as the supplies go, though, I think we're mostly okay. I could buy a couple more and then sell them to the Umbra Pirates, and I might do, because that is a good payday. Okay. All right, let's go to refit. That's human trafficking. No. We don't use words like that, Leafin. Let's strip this down. As for this hound, I've got a couple of other hounds, and the nice thing about the hounds is that they have shielded cargo. That's why we got them, actually. The Etsk 2, for example, over here. We've got a Vulcan cannon, an assault chain gun, efficient overhaul, and expanded cargo hold. So we want probably a Vulcan cannon and an assault chain gun, efficient overhaul, and expanded cargo hold, and then just as many vents and other gubbins as we can. 9 and 7, I may as well. There we are. Now here, have a look at this. We require 0.6 less maintenance than normal. We will recover 2.5% faster per day. We have 30 more cargo hold here. We require 2 less crew to staff this. We use 0.2 less fuel per light year. It's got much better flux and flux dissipation, but its top speed is slightly lower. However, the big thing is that this particular ship has a shielded cargo hold, which will allow it to have a much better chance. Like the 105 cargo that it can store in its cargo hold can't be scanned by patrols. So unless the patrol wants to board your ship, they're not going to see it from a cursory scan. Yeah, the Hound looks like nothing but a pile of trash because its combat readiness is 0. Let me quickly show you what that's going to look like. Oh, right. I've still got it mothballed. Let me undo that. There we go. And now repair it for 26 supplies. Now if we go in and have a look at it, this is what it looks like. So it looks a lot better now. Oh yeah. Alright, so with that, we're actually going to need a name, but I'm going to wait on getting a couple of more ships because I've got a very funny feeling that we're going to need a few more ships reasonably soon. That will be used to upgrade that. I would love to restore you, but it would cost me 24,000 to get rid of all the demods. Compromised armor, glitch sensor array, so its weapons... the weapon range is reduced, and increased maintenance. They're all kind of nasty. Tempted. I am seriously tempted. The faulty power grid here is a massive pain in the backside. Restoring this one would cost probably... well, actually quite a lot, yeah. Also got the Venture here. Compromised armor, faulty power grid, structural damage. I would like to fix up some of my fleet. I'm going to restore the wolves because I feel the wolves are more necessary. Like they are busted up. So I'm going to spend a good old bit of money on that. There we go. There we are. The bigger ships don't get into as hairy situations as my wolves do. Is what I'm looking at. These will get up close and personal with the enemy, so I need them to be operating at peak. My larger ships, they can survive being being a bit busted and slow and needing more repairs. So I'm happier with that. It is stupid expensive, yes. That's why I'm not going to be spending on this. Like, for example, to restore this one, it would cost me 145,000. I'm going to wait until I've got skills to do that. Could have bought 2 wolves. You know what? That is actually a fair point. I might have been able to. Let's see. The Manticore is a new ship. But, I want... also want that as well, so our troops are even more powerful. But I really want Yeah, there is a wolf that doesn't need any repairs there.